that is a 9-foot red marker to orient our group where we were to start looking. And that's our primary source there. Now, I told you that, remember that, and that's the picture that we were showing you up here, that we're interested in one of the pieces. This is at the top, and some of the glaciers are 400 feet thick. There's several of them. There's Chihinam Dare and Abik 1 and 2 and so forth. And lost some sunglasses in a crack. Started looking for it, and it was a big crevasse 30 feet down. So you have to watch it, even on the top. There's the Greater Ararat Peak right there. Now, where the area we're searching is right in this area right here. Here's Ed Davis, 1943, the guy that was taken to see the Ark of Noah. There's Ed as he lived here south of Rio Grande High School. Wonderful man. We became such good friends. He had the forensic artist Alfred Lee come. Ed was describing what he saw. This is the end of one piece, this is the other piece. And this is Alfred Lee hearing Ed describe what he saw, and so he was trying to put it down. See the ark there, part of it, the other ark over here in the valley and so forth. Long story. This, Ed, I said, draw me a picture of what you saw. This is the 3 levels. He had a little keel here. This is where Noah and his family lived. One door. Now, people, you see it depicted with a plank, like a pirate plank. Ed said that the door hinges like your garage door at the top. And when it closes, the weight of the water and other things would keep it shut. And the Bible says that the Lord shut him in. Noah had nothing else to do. That's his sketch. That's his, I read to you, his article in the Bible, in his own handwriting. And this is a drawing that my Turkish friend said is a cave with writings, and he said there's all kinds of carvings in here. They have covered it up, and he was born, this guy, at the base of Mount Ararat. He said that it has not been explored. He wanted me to bring a camera and come and they'll open it up. We haven't done that yet. Now, there's been many people said they claim to have found the ark. This one that Errol Cummings was interested in, they thought maybe this was the top key, superstructure. It turned out to be a rock formation. Look at this here. This is a piece, it looks like it, with the superstructure running in this way. It's broken off here. This is the one that the Turks want to be Noah's Ark. Any of you heard of Ron Wyatt? Bad news bears. But they claim this was the Ark of Noah, like a paramecium. And I spent 2 days there with metal detectors. It's a geological mud flow. I wish it were the ark, because you can take a taxi and drive up to it. You don't have to do any climbing. There I am, and there's the paramecium that they claim is the ark. And they will take their trowel and clean off parts, and it looks like post, and they'll take a photograph of it and say that's your ark. But look at it. This is Iran right there. So we had to watch it. There I am with my metal detector, because Wyatt and Dave Passold claimed there were 6,000 metal fittings. Now, there was metal on the ark, people. Tubal cane. And Ed, I have the drawings that he made of 3 pieces of metal he saw in the boss's home that he claimed came off the ark. But I didn't find anything. There's background iron pyrite and other stuff. And does that look like ark wood to you? It's mud flow, people, with rocks. And Dr. Shea said that was writings. It said that was the Ark of Noah, and I examined them. They're just natural cracks. And this is a guy from Australia. We bailed out. They holding him hostage. They wouldn't take his plastic card. He was a hostage. Had to bail him out with $450. But see these crosses? He claims That's anchor stones that was on the Ark of Noah, because there's those with 8 crosses. They're gravestone markers are what they are. This is Ferdinand Navarre in the wood that he found. This another they thought was maybe the Ark. It's not. This is a parrot's beak. I have pictures here. It's a rock formation. You can see it from a road, and there is graffiti, written, unwritten, so forth. Ishak Pasha is at the base of the mountain. Really interesting story there. It's all abandoned. This is a pre-Hittite burial cave. You have to climb up. I took my cowboy boots off and with my toes climbed up there. And it's pre-Hittite, really old. That's a taxi and Uter, if you want to get around. That's on the western side. This is the Ahura village. It's off limits now, and that's the Ahura Gorge that blew out. Look at these. I found out where the storks come from, finally. They nest. Look at them, right there. So there's a lot of babies over there. Got to tell you, an announcement was made earlier this year about a Chinese discovery of Noah's Ark. Are you familiar with that? Okay, I've got to tell you the story behind the story. Dr. Price happened to be in Mountain Air. He was writing a book, and I've given me all the material I have and stuff. And while we were there, I told him that they were having a conference in Dubayasat, Turkey, where they were inviting all the scholars and ark searchers to come, and they were going to show ark wood. They said they have discovered the ark, and this guy by the name of Parachute had brought it down, and they were announcing it to the world. Well, Randall found out. He said, I want to go. I'm an archaeologist. And so we hooked him up. So he and Dr. Don Patton, a PhD in geology, met there, and they saw the wood. I bet you all of you, if we were voting, if you said this is wood, I want to talk to you at the end of the presentation. It's volcanic tuff. Now, the Chinese, I've got to tell you, there's a group in Hong Kong of Chinese Christians, wonderful group. They're creationists, young age creationists. And they had been sending expedition there to try to verify it. And they had gotten some permission to get on the mountain that the Americans hadn't even gotten. So they'd spent a lot of money in this. They're building and have built a theme park in Hong Kong. Guess what it's called? The Noah's Ark Theme Park. It's now completed. I was there, I took these pictures, and they were going to have this ark wood as one of their central pieces. Now, how are you going to tell them it's not ark wood and do it diplomatically? I went with Don Patton. I was asked to go to meet with the Chinese in Hong Kong. Went to Hong Kong, this was 2 years ago, in 2008. Stayed right in downtown Hong Kong. They came and got us and took us up to the 26th floor of this building. And they have a television ministry that operates 24 hours, 7 days a week. They broadcast the Bible and salvation in Jesus Christ and creation into mainland China. Wonderful group of people. At our first meeting, we sat down, and they brought in these Chinese, and luckily that most of them speak English, or some, because British control Hong Kong. So this lady, by the name of Clara Wee, comes in, said, Dr. Shockey, I have your book. And I said, no, you don't. She says, I have your book. I said, it went, we sold out in 86. She said, I got it on eBay. It was my book about Ed Davis and Anyway, they had Dr. Patton do a segment and we did a segment, and they would take it and place it in Cantonese and Mandarin and I don't know what all, and they broadcast it on their television about creation and so forth. They wanted to send some people over. Anyway, they took us, and it's about 80% correct. If you guys want to go to Hong Kong and have a weekend on Noah's Ark, you can do it. They have 40 rooms on the top of this place that you can rent a room for the weekend now. And it's one, I'll put all this stuff. Well, so I go and suggested that they better have it checked by some of their own scientists to make sure it had some organic matter in, and they realized then that it wasn't arc wood and they were taken in. I'm going to jump because I'd arranged wanting them to have a Chinese-American expedition to jointly do this. We had the information of George and they were trying. Okay. They have announced that they have discovered it. Now, I got to tell you, people, it is a big hoax. That's all I can say. We have information. Dr. Randall Price is doing his workup. I'll show you. You can look at these at the end. This are pictures. I had these a long time ago. They have a ladder here. It's a log with steps cut out. Now, do you think in 120 years Noah could have built some stairs? This one has cobwebs in it. To me, and all of the mining shafts I've been in, it looked like it was somebody got in. They said it was all full of ice and all this stuff. You all can look at this. There was pottery in there. You can look at all of the stuff later on, and pegs and this sort of stuff. I have the account. Randall Price, art pictures are fake. He examined, went to this. They found out 10 of the guys were paid money. They brought wood from an ancient ship that's in the Baltic area and have been carrying it up this site, and they have made a movie set. The Chinese have been totally taken in. In fact, one of theirs is working with this, and I'll tell you his name, Parachute, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and she's Chinese, and she has totally turned the other, getting money, and it's all a fabrication. The Chinese believe it's true. How are you going to convince them? All these hundreds of thousands of dollars in expense and stuff that they have spent. But truth is truth, okay? And they're going to have egg on their face, and we're trying to do it in a diplomatic way so they can save face, because if they're claiming it's Noah's Ark and it goes in the mainland, find out it's a fake, and it's really going to hurt the cause, and we're trying to prevent that from it. The latest, and you can read what he says. This is interesting. You're seeing something that hadn't been published, but this is our site. It's at about 16,300 feet. We've had some excellent work done with this year, subsurface ground penetrating radar, SIR-3, and some other things. And the anomaly is exactly the coordinates. We got the exact coordinates from George. Can't tell you it's Noah's Ark, but there's something under there in the right spot that